Korea's private education has a long history. In the 50s and 60s, even before Korea was industrialized, there were private tutors and famous private academies, or hagwons. One big difference in the age of the internet is the existence of famous online teachers. More specifically, those who have the largest number of internet course subscribers are called ilta, which combines the words number one and the word celebrity or star in Korean. The ads for these teachers are easily found on the outside of buses. Some star teachers have Ivy League diplomas. Recently, there was a news report about a teacher owning a building that is worth about $30 million. Stories about lawsuits over poaching famous teachers from one company to another are not uncommon. It's not just the courses for high schoolers. As many job seekers take public servant exams, numerous star teachers for related subjects are being created. There are conflicting views on the super popular wealthy teachers. Your online teachers may be skilled, but it doesn't mean that you become skillful enough to get high SAT scores only by taking their courses. Eventually, it is the students themselves who have to study. Others say that they make positive contributions to the overall education system. They are equalizers of education opportunities, so to speak. Wherever you are or what economic circumstances you are under, you can access the high-quality courses at the same price. Online lectures or e-learning are everywhere in the world, but the existence of these star teachers are pretty unique to Korea. As long as the Korean SAT is there for high school students, so will be the millionaire star teachers in Korea's education industry. Being an expert of one subject is not enough. You need to connect with your audience by being charming, funny, and delivering your message clearly. It doesn't hurt to be attractive too. So I want to point out the word charming and attractive. So when we talk about charming in English, it means the ability to get people to like you. So if you can speak very well, if you can compliment, if you can make people feel good and get them to like you, that's being charming. But attractive is visual. So we don't use charming for looks. We only use it as a behavior. But attractive means, oh, they're very attractive, meaning they look good, or they're not attractive, which means they can mean ugly. So we don't use charming as a visual. Mastering one subject as a teacher is only part of the equation. You also need to be funny, approachable, and easy on the eyes. So mastering one subject, to master something is to become an expert at something. And then when I say it's one part of the equation, equation is when we talk about, a mathematical equation, 2 plus 2 is 4. But if you have something complicated with many factors, you can also call that an equation. And finally, I said you need to be approachable. Approachable is if you see somebody, you will feel comfortable walking up to them and talking to them. But if you see something like someone very beautiful or attractive and they look mean, they're not approachable. So it has to be someone who looks nice. That's approachable. And finally, easy on the eyes. Easy on the eyes is another way of saying attractive. Not easy on the eyes, it means ugly. Celebrity teachers are on the same level of fame and income as K-pop stars. The market is saturated with teachers, so the environment is very cutthroat. So in that second part of the sentence, I said the market is saturated with teachers. So market saturation, that's when something's saturated, it's wet. But if there's too many of something in a market, that means it's saturated. So for example, coffee shops in Seoul, the market is saturated. Everywhere you go, you see a coffee shop. But if you go in the countryside, it's not as saturated. So if you set up a coffee shop there, it's great. But here we're talking about there's too many of these top teachers. So the competition is very cutthroat. If something is cutthroat, that means the competition is very high. It's so high you would kill somebody. Not like these people are actually killing people, but cutthroat means that the competition level is so high, people will do anything to get ahead. These star teachers are on par with K-pop stars in terms of income and fame, but there is only so much room at the top, so competition is fierce. So I said teachers are on par with K-pop stars. If something is on par, it's at the same level. So, if you have, let's say, a hotel that's 4 stars and one that's 5 stars, you could say, they're on par. They have the equal amount of service, even though their star levels are different. And then the second part I said, there is only so much room at the top, meaning that if you look at a pyramid, if you have the top teachers at the very top, it's very hard to get into that group of teachers. And so when we say there's only so much room, that means there's limited space. But if you say there's so much room, that means there's a lot of space. But if you put, for example, you want to go to vacation to Paris, but you only have so much money, you can only go to Jeju. So when we talk about so much versus only so much means there's little room. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Students must be motivated to study to achieve a high score. You should not be lured by these star teachers that may give false sense of security. So what I said the first sentence is you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So for example, like if you want to lose weight, your trainer will bring you to the gym. They'll show you all the equipment. But if you're looking at your cell phone and playing games and making phone calls and chatting the whole time, you're not going to lose weight. So it's an expression we use that, look, I can give you the tools, I can bring you to something, I can give you something, but you have to make the effort to get it done. In the second sentence, you should not be lured by these stars. To lure someone is to try to attract someone. So a fishing lure is the piece that has kind of the hook and the bait to get the fish. But if you're lured by something, you're attracted to it. And then finally, a false sense of security. A false sense of security means that if you think you're doing something and you're getting a benefit, but actually you're not. So, I used to teach at Pagoda a long time ago, and people used to take these group classes, but they wouldn't pay attention and they wouldn't really participate. So they had a false sense of security that they were learning English, but they actually weren't. So you really have to be proactive to study something. If you just sit there and watch a YouTube video, hopefully not this one, but if you watch a YouTube video and think you're learning English, you might have to put in a little bit more effort. So you don't want a false sense of security to think, I'm going to watch this and be better. Putting all your eggs in one basket and watching star teachers online does not guarantee success. It is up to the student to put in the extra time to study and apply themselves when preparing for the SAT. So just in that first part, I said putting all your eggs in one basket. Putting all your eggs in one basket means putting all your effort into one thing. Or if you invest in the stock market, if you're only investing in one stock or you're only investing in one area, that's not a good idea. You want to spread things around. So in this case, don't only watch YouTube videos. Have conversations, study vocab words. It means to spread out your efforts. These celebrity teachers provide a level playing field for everyone, regardless of your economic situation. Everyone has an opportunity to learn from the same sources at an equal price. So we talk about a level playing field. So if you imagine a football or soccer field, and imagine if it was tilted 30 degrees one way. So one team had to kick uphill and the other had to kick downhill. That would be unfair. So that's an unfair level playing field or an unlevel playing field. So we talk about a level playing field, meaning that it's flat. Everyone has a chance. Both sides have a chance and there's no advantage or disadvantage. But we use this a lot in life. So if something is a unlevel playing field, that means the situation is unfair between two parties versus a level playing field. These online courses act like the great equalizer. No one has an unfair advantage if the cost of education is the same and everyone has access to the best information out there. So we talk about the great equalizer. The great equalizer is something that makes everything equal. So education, if everyone's educated, that's a great equalizer. The internet is a great equalizer because everyone could put on their content and there's no barriers to entry. So when we talk about an equalizer, it was an invention by the name of Samuel Colt. He was the first person to make the revolver firearm, the handgun. And, so we called the gun the equalizer, meaning that if you're small and weak, you could shoot someone who's bigger and stronger than you, so everyone would be equal. So an equalizer makes everything equal, but a great equalizer affects a large group of people, even the whole world. Thanks for watching, guys, and please like and subscribe and also make a comment below. It really helps us out. Bye-bye.